Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Kritz. I love board games, so much so that I designed a board game and have been studying them for a long time now. And of course, I do play a lot. This love for board games led me to what I want to talk about today. I just started a PhD position to research board games. Here, I am part of a group called Ph.D, which is dedicated to understanding games and their impact on society. More specifically, I am part of the Games AI research group at the Queen Mary University of London. My research interests lie mainly in understanding games deeply and facilitating board game development. Creating board games can be a very daunting task. One of the biggest challenges of board game development comes from playtesting. Having to find players that can match their schedule to be in the same place at the same time and willing to play an incomplete game can be quite challenging. But for this PhD in specific, my topic of research is using AI strategy data to create evaluation metrics for board games. Lots of big words, right? So let's break this down a little bit. What is strategy data? It is the set of moves or actions made by a given player over the course of one playthrough. For example, in competitive chess, players are required to register each of their movements on a sheet of paper. This registry of moves is strategy data. AI strategy data is simply the strategy data generated by AI players. Coming back to chess, there are a number of AIs that are created to play against chess famous champions. And as with human players, they are also able to keep a record of their choices and actions. But why should we use AI? Well, these known examples of AI were created to play a specific game. However, AI research has also been interested in creating general agents able to play any kind of game, and has been quite successful in creating those. So what if we pit these AI agents against each other to play a board game? We will be able to create data about thousands of matches in a matter of minutes. However, it is humanly impossible to analyze this amount of data, so we aggregate them and look at them in a more general information, like the average game length or how many victories per player to identify if there is a large advantage for the first player, and we can also identify what we call dominant strategies to see if the game is unbalanced somehow. Although this is quite a big advantage already, it is not enough. The current form of analysis lack a lot of the nuances that are identified by game designers when they see their game being played by others. That's where the evaluation metrics comes in. But first, let's understand what exactly this is. A metric is just a number. It is a measure of something. In our case, a measure of a board game attribute. It can be literally anything, like player interaction, drama, or even the ones already done in game, like game length. However, a number by itself does not say anything. You can tell me what it means to have 3.5 for drama? That's why we need an evaluation. Evaluation is the judgment made over a number. In this case, a metric value. This will give meaning to that value. For example, say that when measuring the player interaction in the game, we can have values from 1 to 4. We know that a measure of 3.5 is a lot of player interaction. To the game, this means that it can have a lot of griefing and even prolong the game too much. Risk. But this can also be desired. Exploding kittens wouldn't be as much fun without its excessive interaction. So perspective is important. A number with a meaning can tell us something about a game. However, deciding whether this is good or bad is more complicated. For this, we need a form of interpretation for the evaluation metric. This will come as scales. This would allow a game designer to put their game score in perspective with other games and add a precise understanding of this value. To illustrate how scales help us understand numbers, we can look at temperature scales. For example, if someone says that today is 0 degrees Celsius, you will know that it is quite cold. But if someone said that is 0 degrees Kelvin, we would all be dead. On the other hand, 0 Fahrenheit means a much colder temperature than in Celsius, even though not as deadly as Kelvin. But the big question is why? Why going through so much effort for this, right? There are 3 main points that I think my research is important. First one, playtests are hard to specialize. When testing a game with players, it's hard to separate the mechanical problems of the game from the defects on the game experience. When something breaks on the game system and a designer cannot clearly understand if the bad experience would still be bad even if that was fixed. My research will allow designers to fix such mechanical problems before even bringing the game to players. And with this, they will be able to focus on the experience and improve on that subject instead of focusing on the mechanical problems. Number 2, board game design iterations take too long. Any game needs to be tested multiple times, as this is a part of the game design cycle. You modify, you test, and then modify a game based on that test. However, as testing board games takes a long time, this makes this cycle becomes too long. And it is the biggest reason board games take so long to be developed. My research will drastically decrease the need for human playtesting at the early stages of development, and as such will speed up the creation of board games. Number 3, it enhances our understanding of board games. By having specialized metrics, we can have a deeper understanding of the attributes being measured, same as with the temperature example, where the scales help us better distinguish from different intensities of cold and hot. And with this, both designers and publishers will be able to have a more concrete understanding of games and ultimately release better games. Well, that's all for today, folks. If you find it interesting, please share this video and give it a like. If you want to know more, don't hesitate to leave a comment below or contact me directly. This is my passion and my dream, and I'm always willing to talk about it. Thanks for watching and see you around.